My name, Edmund Yakani, Executive Director of CEPO. I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the citizens who are suffering in the face of the ongoing violence in some parts of South Sudan, namely Nasir County and Longochuk area, where it have witnessed an aerial bombardment by the gunships, where it have left horrific implications. We have seen images of children, women, houses being burnt, and we have also seen the White Army keeping South Sudan People Defense Forces soldiers as hostage and demanding ransom. I'm raising my voice towards this unaccepted act that we have condemned, bombing of Nasir and Longochuk, but also holding SSPDF soldiers as a hostage. All these acts, we condemn them strongly. I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the suffering citizens to raise a concern to the attention of the AU, as tomorrow African Union Peace and Security Council is holding African Union Peace and Security Council meeting. We are calling upon the leadership of the African Union and the leadership of the African Union Peace and Security Council in tomorrow's meeting to profile South Sudan on the top of their decisions. And if you're making your decisions, we have the following expectations that we want to bring to your attention, the members of African Union Peace and Security Council. Within the framework of African solution to African problems, please help us reach the following decision. Our first appeal to you is, please call for the principles of the party signatory to our access, or the principle of the Government of National Unity in South Sudan, to hold an urgent meeting for de-escalating the violence. And specifically, we need to see an urgent meeting of His Excellency President and His Excellency First Vice President to de-escalate the ongoing deadly violence in Nasir, Longochuk, and maybe other parts of the country. And we would like to ask African Union to play a big role. If it's possible, let the chair of Peace and Security Council and the chair of the Commission have a quick field mission visit to South Sudan to de-escalate this violence. Secondly, we are urging African Union to also support the call made by IGAD head of state 43 extraordinary summit, where they have called for immediate de-escalation of the violence and cessation of hostility and investigations of the ongoing violence across the country. So West African support that. The third one is, we are urging AU Peace and Security Council to help us operationalize the decision that was raised by the failed visit of African Union C5, where they have recommended for appointment of AU High Representative to the Republic of South Sudan. And this is to nurture trust and confidence among the leaders, and specifically the principles of the party signatory to our access. Number 4, we are asking African Union Peace and Security Council tomorrow to ensure that humanitarian corridors are created for the citizens, and this making the protection of civilians very important. Of course, this is in line with this escalation of the violence, that no more violence should continue. The 5th, we are demanding from African Union Peace and Security Council at least commission a quick field visit to South Sudan, and this field visit should help in nurturing trust and confidence among our leaders. But please, we are urging you that tomorrow try to take a practical actions for making the principles under the mechanism of the presidency in South Sudan should meet urgently and de-escalate this violence. And we hope that the leadership of the African Union and African Union Peace and Security Council meeting of tomorrow will take immediate action of sending a delegation to work out with the principle and to de-escalate this violence. African citizens in South Sudan are suffering from armed political violence, which is a result of political disagreement among the political elites. This is a time African Union Peace and Security Council should demonstrate sense of demanding compliance to peace and security agenda within the concept of silencing the gun, within the concept of protection of civilians, within the concept African problem for African solution, and African citizens should not suffer from action of its own political elites whom disagree, and later on their disagreement create a consequences of grave human rights violations that may constitute a war crime against their own citizens they claim to govern. African Union Peace and Security Council tomorrow help us in demonstrating your responsibility, the values of the Charter of Africa for peace and stability to prevail in South Sudan. Thank you very much.